I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're believing God for. I don't know what you need to, I mean, sometimes it is like things have to come together. But I want to encourage you to know that it's not by worrying. It's not by being anxious. It's not by toiling in our flesh that things are going to come to pass. It's by trusting and believing in God. And I remember when we started the ministry, this chapter, the end of chapter 6 of Matthew, it was like I lived there. It was, just kept having to go back to it and renew my mind to it, go back to it. We came down here, the story, no jobs, trying to believe God from everything from chairs to electricity to rent to, whatever it was. And I lived day by day saying, okay, God, I can't worry about it. It's too much pressure. But here, what are we, 12, 13 years later, I still have to trust God and believe God. There's things that come up and it's like, God, I know what is, like it says in the scripture, me being worried and anxious about it, what is that going to do? So as you get ready to give, you say, why are you teaching this as we get ready to give? Because sometimes we're afraid to step out on what God said to us. We're afraid to commit, to say, God, every time I get increase in my hands, I'm going to make sure I give unto you. Why are we afraid? Because we don't trust him and his word. It says right here, he's going to take care of you. Focus on his kingdom. Focus on the way he does things. Focus on his word. And everything that you ever dreamed or desired, God is going to put into your heart and bring into your life. And so I just encourage you, don't be afraid. Don't let the devil hold you back today by believing and trusting God, or believing and trusting in God by telling you, you don't have enough. You're going to lack. If you do that, because I know the stronghold the devil can have on you when you get ready to step out and do something that God has put in your heart to do. So as we get ready, we're going to present what God has placed in our heart to give. We're going to trust him. We're going to believe in him. We're going to do it as God says to do it, his way of doing things. And I want to encourage you, don't be afraid. Fear not. Don't be anxious. Don't let the devil hold you back. Sometimes I think about what Mike and I are believing God for in our lives and in the ministry and everything. And this thought comes to mind sometimes. Connie, is it your lack of faith and trust in God that is holding back from this coming to pass? And that's a big question sometimes you have to really deal with, and you have to say, wait a second. God, I know what your word says. I know that you want good in my life. I know you don't want me to lack. I know you don't want us to go without. And we have to just continue to build up our trust and our faith day by day in him and not be scared, not be anxious, not be worrisome. It says it's not going to do any good for you. Sometimes Mike and I get in a position and it is like, God, you do see what's going on here, don't you? You know what? And he's fully aware, but us worrying and fretting and being under the pressure, that's not going to help the situation at all. Not at all. But when we are at peace and trusting God, that's really what it means to trust God, just to relax and rest. And, it's like, God, you've got this. And so I encourage you today, as we give, let's not give in fear, or let's not hold back from giving because of fear, but to say, God, I believe you. I take you at your word, and I will see your word come to pass in my life. Let's